Alright, so as we all know, over the course of a season a whole lot can change, and when it comes to the NBA draft, there's definitely constant fluctuations with how high or low each player is projected to be taken. And if we look at ESPN's super early mock draft as of November 24th of 2020, the teams are a lot different. I mean, the Knicks were way too good this year to have any chance at the number 1 pick. However, the players are mostly the same. There's really only 3 guys that fell out, and those are Kentucky's BJ Boston, UNC's Caleb Love, and the topic of today's video, Stanford's Zaire Williams. And as y'all just saw, ESPN had really high expectations for him. After a solid high school career, to go with a good size at 6'8", the man was projected as a top 5 pick. But now ESPN has him at 23, and they're not the only ones. Plenty other mock drafts have removed him from the first round entirely, which is obviously a pretty big drop off. And you know, it's always a little surprising seeing drop offs like that, but from a broad perspective, it's completely understandable. This past season, Zaire Williams barely averaged double digits, and he did so while shooting poorly from the field and from 3. But see, despite what looks like and pretty much is poor stats, I don't really agree with how much Zaire's draft stock has fallen. And usually I would title these type of vids, "Are Scouts Right About Such and Such?" But not this time. I'm just taking a gamble and saying I believe scouts are wrong. It could age poorly, but for some reason I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, in today's video, I'm gonna let y'all know why I believe Ziaire may shock everyone when he's officially in an NBA uniform. But real quick before I move on, what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks back with a vid. If you are new, first of all, welcome, and go ahead and sub. Also like the vid if you enjoy. I upload 3 to 4 times a week, and we are currently grinding for 5K, so I'd for sure appreciate it. I appreciate every single viewer, but back to the vid though. Now, like I said before, I'm aware this could age pretty badly, and based on Zaire's stats, it's really easy to doubt his capabilities, I'll give you that. But see, we must remember, there is a reason he was projected so far up in the first place. And I won't give a speech on his accolades as if I'm introducing a guest speaker, but basically, he was ranked 8th overall in high school as a 5-star recruit, had offers to the best D1 programs out there such as Duke, Carolina, and UCLA, and led one of the best high school programs in the nation to a championship at Sierra Canyon, alongside BJ Boston as one of the best players on the team. And during each game, his pure talent as a hooper could not help but show itself. I mean, his jump shot and shot creation seemed unguardable, he often got acrobatic dunks, and to put it simply, it was just clear that high school competition was no match for him. Because when dealing with 5-star recruits, it's not really until they play at the next level of D1 basketball until we really see the weaknesses in their game. So yeah, for Zaire Williams to go from dominating everyone to a very underwhelming freshman season at Stanford, it's obviously not a good look. I mean, there's no debate. However, the reason I believe Zaire is better than what scouts think is simply a mix of the impressive flashes he showed this year, and mostly because of how much unfortunate distractions he dealt with that no one should really have to deal with. And he revealed all of this in his official post declaring for the NBA draft. I'ma just put it on the screen, and I won't read all of this, but basically, this man Zaire had to deal with the death of 2 family members very close to him, attending their funerals, and this was all in the middle of his freshman season. And then on top of the grief that comes with losing family members, after returning from the funerals, he had to quarantine and stay away from the team for a decent amount of time for COVID protocols, which obviously slowed down the process of developing team chemistry with his teammates. And overall, it just gave his season an awkward feel that definitely disrupted his flow and his rhythm, which is not what you want. And although these may sound like excuses, I don't see it that way at all. I mean, let's be real. You don't see a player that's projected to go top 5 by experts and scouts just suddenly fall out the lottery for no reason. Something unpredictable or unfortunate just causes this, like an injury, or in Zaire's case, living through a pandemic while experiencing the loss of 2 family members. So yeah, that's the main reason I believe teams should take a gamble with Zaire and give him the benefit of the doubt. But I also mentioned another reason, being that he had a few nice flashes throughout the year, and I'll bring up these flashes while going over Zaire's playstyle, strengths, and weaknesses. Now first off, offensively, Zaire almost has the full package, because if we ignore the tough efficiency for just a moment, Zaire's ability to create his own shot and his basketball IQ to just know his game and know how to get to his spots are obvious signs of great potential as a scorer. Zaire has no problem pulling deep threes, getting into the mid-range, or just dribbling around the perimeter for a deep 2-pointer. He can also get into the paint and score sometimes, but I have noticed he doesn't go for contact that much, so that's why I say he almost has the full package. And I'm not sure if it's because of his skinny body frame or what, but his reluctance to attack the basket is a small issue I'd hold against him as a scorer. And besides his efficiency, I'd also hold his shot selection against him, because he's definitely bold with some of the contested and deep shots he attempts. And speaking of his efficiency, honestly, when I think of Zaire's shot selection and iffy shooting, I'm reminded of Cam Reddish at Duke, because if I remember correctly, his shooting was far from great, but before the draft and still to this day, people continue to believe in him because this sounds like a bad reason, but he just looks like a pro. The way he scores, the skillful offense, I mean, the talent is there with Cam Reddish, and I feel as though we can say the same in the case of Zaire Williams. I mean, we're talking about a 6'8" shooting guard / small forward. More times than not, he's a mismatch for his defenders. He can literally see over his defenders. The shots just need to fall. Also, as far as playmaking, Zaire isn't great. He averaged more turnovers than assists and could be better at decision making, but he is capable of finding his teammates in ideal moments. And to be honest, teams shouldn't be drafting a 6'8" forward with any intentions of them running the offense if they have a playstyle like Zaire. But on to defense. Look, Zaire isn't known as a special two-way player that provides huge value on defense, but they say a big part of defense is just effort, and Zaire is physically blessed enough to provide quality defense if he wants to. I mean, who wouldn't want a 6'8" guy with his level of athleticism to be active defensively all over the opposing team? Any coach would want that. So yeah, he's by no means the best defender, but his value on that side of the ball shouldn't be ignored. And overall, I think Zaire just needs a fresh start, a new season to really return to the lottery player that so many scouts originally believed he could be. And when declaring for the draft, he mentioned that all this adversity he's faced will only better prepare him for what's to come. So yeah, take it or leave it. But I believe Zaire's gonna surprise people in his rookie season after a much needed fresh start. And I'll admit, he could have just returned to Stanford for another year and gotten his fresh start that way. But I mean, when the NBA and its money is calling, you must pick up that call, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, man, that's about it for this video. I appreciate y'all watching as always. Let me know what you think of Zaire Williams in the comments below. Do you agree he's better than what his draft pick says? But yeah, man, like the sub, share it, sub if new, all of that, and I'm out.